Okay, I'm sorry. All right.
This is gonna be hard for me when I edit this shit.
I'm sorry. All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what side of the world you're in. I'm Half-Life-Sistah. This is my hubby, Wolfkain.
What's up, everybody?
And my amazing friend, Chaotic Obor.
Ta-da.
Welcome to my channel and to another episode of Sister and the Wolf Reaction / Podcast.
That is right.
Oh my God, listen.
Can I introduce the merch?
Please do, I'm excited, go ahead.
HalfLifeSistah.com for the merch.
You know it.
Stuff like this, but also Pride. It's Juneteenth.
Oh yes, my earrings as well. Yeah, Juneteenth, well this is Juneteenth weekend. Juneteenth is I think Monday.
Correct.
Moving forward, not sideways. Yes, so I'm this is my attire.
Yes. Yeah.
Of course, this is for my merch shop as well, and this is for my boutique. If you don't see it in my boutique, message me and I could make them for you and send them your way.
Black Pride, though.
Yes.
And what better way to celebrate Black Pride than with some white rappers?
Oh my God! Oh, that's right, he's a rapper.
Well, Chaotic's gonna give us the lowdown.
Okay.
Shout out to Michael D because
And Bella, hi baby.
yes,
I
indeed.
love you guys.
Because Chaotic, he actually helped bring this sooner because he also sent his request in for this so that we can just stop what we're doing and
I
do
love
it.
you
So
guys.
shout out
Thank you,
to
baby.
Michael D as well and Bella.
Yeah.
And y'all made this happen, so we appreciate that.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear that.
You know, Ren has been blowing up. He's gone viral, so we're going to participate in the viralness thanks to Chaotic Obor.
Yes, who's not old nor a bore. Look at him.
Thank you for saying it right, because apparently every time I say it in my reactions, she always points out how I'm saying it wrong.
Every time.
Okay, I'm trying.
I appreciate the
I'm
effort.
doing my best.
I appreciate the effort.
I'm getting closer each time, though. I don't know if you noticed that. I don't know if you give me any credit for that.
Second
But
time you're like, not old or a bore.
yeah.
And I'm like, no, sir, it's a snore.
Okay.
Any whatever, I am so excited to have you here, Chaotic. I love you. You're an awesome friend, have been an amazing supporter of mine, of ours for 3 years or more, I think. I think from the very beginning, actually.
I think it was pretty close to the damn beginning.
Yeah, so it's been almost 5 years we've been doing this. And you've just been such a, I love you so much.
No, it's great to see you guys again too. Like I miss you guys. As I've told you offline, I've been through a little bit in the last year or so, or just over a year. So, and that's all sort of settled down now. So that's really good. And
That's so good. I'm so happy to hear that, baby.
and honestly, what we're about to have a look at is another thing that has sort of helped me through the last few months. There's a reason that this song performance has gone viral. It transcends music. This isn't just a song. What we're about to see isn't just a song. It is art. It is a performance piece. You'll notice when we start, he's got his guitar actually plugged in to a little recording device, and he's actually wearing a lapel mic. What we're about to see is all done in one take,
Really?
live.
Including the recording.
Yes.
Okay.
That's awesome. I love stuff like that.
His friend Sam filmed this and has filmed a lot of his other videos that you may go on to see later on. It's actually up for an award for best video in Europe at the moment for some awards type ceremony. It cost him less than £1,000 to make this video apparently.
Really?
And it's going up against videos that have cost tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds to make.
Wow. These indie artists are like, they're like amazing. Unlike anything or any group or band or artist that you see that are more popular. They're amazing.
I've been sort of following Ren since the last few months since I've jumped on board what they call the Renegades at the moment, which are
Oh, the
fans.
Renegades, I like that, okay.
Gotta name your crew.
No, he didn't name them. They come up with it themselves, and
Even better.
Who
he
gave them
sort of.
permission?
Even better.
They say we're participating in the Renaissance.
The Renaissance. Yes.
Oh, I love that.
I love wordplay.
love that.
If you love wordplay, you will like Ren. He has, and through a lot of his songs, there is an amazing amount of wordplay. You did sort of say before that he's a rapper. Rap is one of his forms of performing, but it's not the only form of
Because I see him
performing
with
for
the
him.
guitar, so I mean, I know he can't he's not like, what do you call it, one-dimensional, obviously.
Oh hell no.
Well, he's
Hell no.
not a rapper that's just holding a guitar pretending to know how to play, right?
No.
He actually knows how to play it.
No.
Okay.
Some people have described him as like a Shakespeare of our time. Like he's described his own music as bardcore. He is a masterful storyteller, as you'll probably see in this one. And then again, if you go on to react to some of his other songs, or even just view them offline, he is a pretty masterful storyteller.
So now when we did NF, you had similar things to say about him, and I felt when you actually introduced me to him on Twitch, and I was blown away. He included instruments in his song that is unheard of, you know. So it felt like it was almost symphonic rap, if that makes any sense.
I call it epic because
Okay,
he has
epic.
epic music playing.
I can dig that, you know, and he's also a really good storyteller as well. So when you're describing Ren, it's taking me back to NF, who is phenomenal as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really intrigued. I'm excited to hear this guy.
This was actually filmed 2 years ago. He only released this just before Christmas last year, and he's basically released one of these videos and songs month since then. And his latest one is, I can't talk about it too much right now. I'll let you go through this one first, but the next
I saw
one,
it in the algorithm, so I know what you're talking about, but yeah, it looks heavy.
It's extremely heavy. To me, I don't want to say anything because we'll just leave that at the moment.
Okay.
So is it like on par with what we're about to see as far as
impact? Spoilers.
Well, no, don't say anything to spoil. I'm just wondering if you're getting that kind of vibe from it, or is it something new?
It's its own thing.
It's its own thing. This one I can watch and rewatch and rewatch. The other one can be very difficult to watch after the first time you see it.
Gotcha. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But at the same time, it's great. It's impactful, and believe it or not, in some ways uplifting. It's in a weird way. Yeah.
I would certainly hope so. Yeah.
So after we hear the song, you're gonna give me a little more background on Ren, if you have that. If you have any additional information.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to spoil too much, and I like that.
No.
Just talking about NF though for a minute. They are on our Patreon. We have done 3 songs to NF, and I'm gonna post this first because this is kind of having a moment right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if anyone wants to see the NF that we're talking about, that's on Patreon. That will be coming on YouTube as well. We have one where it's a reaction with just you and me, and then we have another one similar to what we're doing here. And that, again, like you said, was impactful at that time. You were having a moment, and that song, particularly the one we did together,
that was heavy.
That had to do with something from your past. And it's interesting that this has something more to do with your present.
Your present, yeah.
And you are like a metalhead, but you've been bringing us like this non-metal music that is connecting with you. And it has value because obviously when I think of NF, I think of obviously Eminem because that's who inspired NF, right? So you have Eminem, who is known as a lyricist and who kind of, to me, leveled up
rapping.
Rap? Yes. Now I know you might have a difference of opinion there, but I've always talked about the importance of the vocals on a rap. It's not just about rapping, but it's about vocals and everything else.
I agree. You mean the tone of their voice?
Yeah.
Yes.
To me, NF kind of took that and did his own thing. Well, he took his own thing, and then he kind of made it better. He's improving on it. Each generation is improving on the people that inspired them. That's the ideal. That's what you would want, right? You would want to learn from your teacher, and then you would want to at some point best them, right? You would want your student to become the master, right? And when I see Ren, like I don't know what to expect. Within this rap genre, they are speaking from the heart.
Yeah. About
the streets and about themselves. And that's Eminem was a lot of his stuff is of course satirical, sometimes extreme, but all of it is rooted within his own experience.
It is, right.
And if you listen to his music and you listen past the Slim Shady, the alter ego and stuff, but even if you don't, like even the alter ego has parts of him in it, because it's a response from his feelings of the things he's been through and the hardships that he's had.
Right.
NF, same thing with mental health and everything.
Right.
So that comes through so much better in poetry than it would in, for example, metal. You can do it, and it is done, of course. Metal has to be a bit more musical.
Yeah.
It has to have a chorus, you know what I mean?
It allows you to melt into...
Exactly. You can storytell a lot better this way.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good medium that it comes through, and the new kids are adding more than just like basic bass lines and stuff, making the music more interesting, like NF doing the epic stuff.
Yes.
And here he's holding a guitar. So again, to me, this is elevating the music.
It is.
That's my personal opinion. I don't know how y'all feel about it.
Right.
You can speak on that, but.
And you have not heard this song before?
No, this is going to be my first time as well.
Okay.
No.
Are you ready finally?
Yes, hold on. Go ahead.
Go ahead, baby.
He gives you a little bit of his backstory through this song.
Thank
Okay,
you.
good to know.
Thank you. Okay, baby, I'm so excited to have your face in our virtual space, and I'm so happy that you brought this to us. And I'm ready to kick ass. Just do it. You ready to do it?
Yeah.
Which one is it? Because you changed some things around.
It says it right there, Ren.
Okay, right. You had to change it. Whatever.
2 of them, front and back.
Right. All right, let's do it. Now this is the video I want to actually watch.
That makes me think of somebody.
I love this.
Midas, I think his name was.
Hi there, Ren. It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Cause I always come back. Deep down, you know that. Deep down, you know I'm always in periphery. Ren, are you pleased to see me? It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me. Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. And I've been making some progress lately. And I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed you much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill. Ren, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are really there to guide you? Been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect, you're always being lied to. Okay, take another pill, boy. Drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this 10-step program, rejoice. All your problems will be gone. Fucking dumb boy. Nah, mate. This time is different, man. Trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place. And my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great. And when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help. You think that you can amputate me? I am you, you are me, you are I am we are one. Split in two, that makes one. So you see, you gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah? Where are your Grammys, Ren? Nowhere. Yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stats. I never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in. Man, you sound so pretentious. Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself. Trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget it. Man, it's not like that. Man, it's just like that. I'm inside you, you twat. No, it's not, man, you're wrong. When I write, I belong. Let me break the fourth wall by acknowledging this song. Ren sits down, has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with the subconscious, Eminem did it. Played on guitar, Plan B did it. Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material. Ren, mate, we've heard it all before. She sells seashells on the seashore. Fuck you, I don't need you, I don't need to hear this. Cause I'm fine by myself, I'm a genius. And I will be great, and I will make waves, and I'll shake up the whole world beneath us. That's right, speak your truth, your fucking God complex leaks out of you. It's refreshing to actually hear you say it instead of downplay it. Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus. Fuck you, I'ma fucking kill you, Ren. Well, fucking kill me then, let's fucking have you, Ren. I'ma do it, watch me prove it. Who are you to doubt my music? Cause I call the shots, I choose if you die. Yeah, I call the shots and so I choose who survives. I'll tie you up in knots when I lock you inside. Newsflash. I was created at the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am the snake in Eden. I am the reason for treason. Beheading all kings, I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the morning, Lucifer, Antichrist, father of lies. Mustopheles, truth in a blender, deceitful pretender, the banished avenger, the righteous surrender. When standing in front of my solar eclipse, my name is stitched to your lips. So you see, I won't bow to the will of a mortal. Feeble and normal, you wanna kill me? I'm eternal immortal. I live in every decision that catalyzes chaos, that causes division. I live inside death, the beginning of end. I am you, you are me, I am you, friend.
Guy's a really good writer.
I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts turning, just as sure as the night has dawned, just as sure as the rainfall soon runs dry when you stand in an eye of a storm. I was made to be tested and twisted. I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet. And you know me, my will is eternal. And you know me, you've met me before. Face to face with a beast, I will rise from the east and I'll settle on the ocean floor. And I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope. Some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope. And you know how I know that I'll prosper? Cause I stand here beside you today. I have stood in the flames that cremated my brain, and I didn't once flinch or shake. So cower at the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs. That I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspired I make to be strong. And when I am gone I will rise in the music that I left behind. Ferocious, persistent, immortal like you, we're a climate different side. When I was 17 years old, I shouted out into an empty room, into a blank canvas that I would defeat the forces of evil. And for the next 10 years of my life, I suffered the consequences, with autoimmunity, illness, and psychosis. As I got older, I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare, but there were victims and there were students. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a pendulum, eternally swaying from the dark to the light. And the more intensely that the light shone, the darker the shadow it cast. It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax, and I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. It is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons, from gods. And I must not forget, we must not forget, that we are human beings.
Wow.
Well, hello, Ren. Okay.
I don't have any Kleenex.
Okay, I'm gonna go get some Kleenex.
You're muted, baby. We can't hear you.
Yep, that's all right.
Oh, you don't have to mute yourself because I got the music audio set.
Wow. I guess we can wait for him to come back, but wow, chaotic. God.
Do what you gotta do.
I'm sorry, chaotic. I have to leave. I'll be right back. It's not.
She doesn't know how to blow her nose. And I don't know why I didn't have tissues already ready for her. I saw you getting pretty strongly affected by that though, so.
100 times, dude. It's still hits.
I gotta...
Wowzers.
Are you done collecting yourself?
I'm done collecting myself. Sorry, chaotic.
It's all right.
We want to go over the lyrics now, baby. That was a doozy, guys. That was a doozy. Got all kind of emotions.
We'll go over everything. Just first of all, just speak on what you just went through.
Oh my God. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know. I wouldn't say I don't know why, but of course not everything about the song resonated with me, but a lot of it did. Mm-hmm. A lot of it does. And of course, throughout most of my adult life, I've been, dealing with, I wouldn't say dealing, but I've been coming to levels of acceptance of who I am and understanding my life's journey, where I've been. And I've been kind of battling, with my past traumas and, trying to be working on myself to try to be a better version of myself. You know what I'm saying? And there are times I feel like I've overcome my pains and my traumas. And then there are times it slaps me in the face. I'm like, damn, have I grown at all? Have I, been delivered from my past, pains and whatnot? Ouch. Ow, that hurt. What was that? You're killing me.
Pretty sure that was a booger.
I'm sorry, chaotic. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Okay, hands in the air, it wasn't. Moving forward, not sideways.
It's okay. You just been through a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. You see more though?
No,
I'm feeling a little sticky now.
You're good.
But yeah, he's an exceptional storyteller. Oh my God, I love the duality. I assume it was both himself, right, on both spectrums.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, that was all him. One take.
It's like,
no. In other words, he was arguing with himself.
Yes.
In the video, that's what he was representing.
Yes. He's arguing with that negative voice on your shoulder that every creator, such as yourself, I'm not a creator, but I still get that with jobs, with personal life. You've got that imposter on your shoulder saying, you're not good enough. You shouldn't be doing this. You'll never get anywhere.
Yes.
And
yes, baby, yes.
I think that's one of the reasons this song / performance has taken off and resonated with so many people is because at some stage within that performance he's given, there's a little chunk, or for some people the whole lot resonates with somebody in different ways, and it's literally obviously resonated with millions. I think it's 15 million views now, 6 months.
Oh wow.
I think I mentioned this pre-recording to Wolf, but I believe it's coming close to overtaking Ghost Love Score as the most reacted to song on YouTube.
You're joking. I don't believe that's crazy. Because Ghost Love Score, to this day, people are still like, going back to that,
It's not just musical reactors that are reacting to it. It's filmmakers, it's psychological, psychoanalysts, psychological
that
nurses,
makes sense.
Trauma nurses.
That makes sense.
All sorts of people are reacting to it, both for the musicality, for the lyricism, for everything behind it.
when I heard his other self, and I think that was probably, I'm not sure if it's the shadow self, you know, when it came to surface and when it revealed itself, it just tugged at my heart. I felt like that was my shadow self talking to me and saying some of the same things that I have heard and that oh my God, that was, and it's crazy. It always fascinates me how there are songs that we're able to connect to from a very personal, intimate level or emotional space that was not the best. And we gravitate to it not to feel sad, but to feel connected to something that we can relate to. And so even though that song, it reminded me of my childhood, it reminded me of who I am today, because a lot of who I was as a kid, I still am. I'm still stuck in that space.
I love the way towards the end he brings up, he fights back. I am hope.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you noticed, because you were sort of a little bit emotional at the time, but he stood up when he uttered the lines, "When I stand on my own 2 feet," like the imagery of that.
I kind of want to rewind it to see that part.
Well, it starts out with him.
But that
sick.
was a performance, Chaotic. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it starts out with him sick, representing the sick state that he was in. So I've done a little bit of research. You had given me a heads up, and I wanted to at least get an idea of like where he fits in with the whole Eminem. Like, it's impossible not to compare him to like NF and stuff like that, because that's kind of what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But when I went to see his history, this isn't like, you could tell that hip hop was something that he's always had in his heart, but part of I think what attracts him to hip hop seems to be his attraction to poetry.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Lyricism, yes.
Yes.
Well, he even makes reference to Eminem within the song, where he says he breaks the fourth wall.
In this song?
Yes. I'm surprised you didn't.
Oh, he did. Yes. No. You're right. Eminem did it. He wants to write a song that was not done previous.
Yeah. That part I got that as well.
Conscious. Eminem did it. Okay, and Eminem did it is a reference to The Simpsons.
So basically, he's in a way, but it's also pointing out that Eminem is an influence on him.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yes, of course.
But I think it also has to do with the fact that there's an unfortunate side effect of being a new artist. Yeah. Everything you've done has kind of been done before. It's on you now. This is what I was talking about earlier, where the student wants to become the master. You want to be able to up the previous generation. You don't want to just copy them, but copying them is how you learn to do what you do in the first place. You know what I mean? You were inspired, you learned, and one thing I saw on his Wikipedia when it came to the guitar, which is why I kind of knew he was probably going to play it well, is he would listen to Hendrix, and he said they would slow down the music and he would learn how to play. We're talking him early on, so he has a lot of influences.
Absolutely.
Yes, and again, he's taken off within the reaction scene due to this, but so he started out making beats as like a 12-year-old in his bedroom on an old PC. Like he's from a small island in Wales originally, but then eventually moved up to Brighton. Up in Brighton, he joined basically the busking scene and got quite big within the busking scene, cut his teeth basically, performing in front of people in a band called The Big Push.
And just help me understand, what is busking?
Street performing. So
Gotcha.
You put your guitar case down in front of you and you stand on a corner and perform.
Okay, awesome.
I'm surprised you weren't aware of busking. I thought that might have even been
I didn't know the name of it. I didn't know that's what it was called.
But you can also be a dancer and do it.
It's big around the world. They even have like busking tours, like where people will go and have a busking festival within a city, and there'll be all sorts of performances, not just musical, like magic or acrobatics and all sorts of stuff. Prior to that, also, he was in a band with a couple of friends called Trick the Fox. Now, I believe he was spotted by Sony doing this, was signed to Sony, and then this illness that he mentioned within the last bit of the video basically took over. Now, the illness was misdiagnosed in many different ways. through the years, which he sort of references towards the front, where he sort of said, the doctors, just listen to the doctors, just do what they want you to do, type thing. He was misdiagnosed with depression, anxiety, and a few other things, but they did manifest in the end. He basically had Lyme disease.
That's exactly
Lyme
right.
disease?
He had Lyme disease.
Lyme disease. And
oh my God, that affects your brain.
They didn't find that out for years. And yes, because they didn't find that out for years, it did affect his brain. That's what he mentions about the psychosis.
Right. Oh my goodness.
His follow-up song to this one is called Sick Boy, and sort of delves more into that side of it. Like, again, if you move on to a couple of his newer songs like Illest of Our Time or Animal Flow, they're two totally different rap type songs, totally different to this, different feel. They're more sort of fun. Like, you won't get an emotional response out of these songs, but they're still really good songs. But the wordplay, lyricism in those are great, and in different ways too. Like, one is sort of just a straight up rap song, whereas the other one, Animal Flow, references the George Orwell book quite a bit, both in the video and in the lyrics. It's quite good as well. And then there's obviously his most recent release. I don't really like spoiling things, but okay, it's sort of relevant because
I get it. Go ahead.
Ren likes reactors.
Hi, Ren.
He does. He has been known to, like, especially when it was first going around, he'd go and drop a comment on a Reactors video.
That's so cool. I love when they're so humble like that.
He's actually done a couple of interviews with a few reactors who have reacted to and broken down his songs, and then gone on to do a deep dive of his catalogue. He did one with a lyric analyst, Knox Hill.
A lyric analyst.
Well, Knox Hill is a rapper, and he, one of the things he does, and and I'll be straight up, he is really good at breaking down lyrics into bars, flows, and then looking into the meaning of those bars and flows. He's good.
That's a talent.
Yeah, it is. He had like an hour and a half interview with Ren, and during that interview, it was brought up the fact of one of Ren's friends had self-deleted by jumping off a bridge, and Ren was not there, but close to being there.
Yeah, it was a couple of days later. I get a call. It's like 3:00 in the morning. I get a call from my girl mate Ella. And she's like, Ren, like, Joe's on the bridge. He's just phoned me. He's just saying goodbye. He's saying he's gonna jump. And I was the closest person who lived to the bridge at the time. So 3 a.m, I'm pulling on my clothes, kind of realizing the gravity of the situation. I'm sprinting up there. I'm dialing, and he's on the phone. So I'm like, oh, thank fuck he hasn't jumped. And then, like, I keep redialing as and then halfway up, I'm dialing. It's like, this number is out of service. And I'm like, fuck it,
They were doing this interview. They finished up, and that discussion with Knox triggered something within Ren to go back and add like a minute worth of words and music to the end of it, and then he sent that to his producer, added to it, and sent it to, and it is what it is now. That last section is as heavy as the end of Korn's Daddy. With that,
really,
that's okay.
Like, just the emotional, it's heavy in the emotional outpouring sense, like the full release of emotion, not the subject matter. I just want to clarify.
I understand.
Yes, the subject matter is almost as heavy as the subject matter of Daddy, but they are two different things. But the emotional outpouring of relief, grief, however you want to describe it, is, I think, almost on par.
Interesting.
And I only brought that up as a comparison because I know you've both gone through that, or through the reaction to that song.
Yeah, so a guy like this, when scrolling through his Wikipedia, so he's been around since 2009, I believe, correct? So he's no spring chicken. This guy has been doing this for a while. Basically as long as NF, because I believe NF has been around that long as well.
Yeah, but I think they're almost the same. I think he's actually a little touch older than NF. I think NF just recently turned 30, where Ren just recently turned 32 or 33.
I think, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it's interesting. Again, wondering why he goes viral now. So, of course, out of curiosity, I check out his older band. I think it was the Foxes one. The very last video that he has on his channel of that Foxes band, before they broke up and they've just stopped posting videos. I think we're talking almost 10 years ago. Is just him reciting a poem. And this is why when we were talking before we started this reaction, maybe let's not tell her stuff, because I do think I would have been much more blown away had I already not seen his talent early on. So, you know what I mean? By exploring his talent and realizing, because I'm not a fan of poetry, this dude, when he recited his poem to me with a little guitar, just basic guitar, he blew me the fuck away. And he was a kid. He was basically in his 20s.
You talking about Ren?
Yes.
Wow.
He recited this poem that was so deep and so thoughtful and so well written.
The meaning of this life can change. It's just how you observe it. Like you can't stop a wave, but you can learn to surf it, so it's all down to interpretation. Remember, one man changed the laws of physics with a 3-letter equation, and so I take this principle and I apply that to life. For every moment's an opportunity dressed in a different disguise. To be aware of our potential, that is to open our eyes. The only force that works against us is the ticking of time, but I accept mine. I stare death in the face, I take hold of his bony fingers, I hold death and embrace, for to accept death is to be free from fear, and we can fill the gap with love, and time just seems to disappear. For what is the use working a 9-to-5 job, trying to build some sort of status for ourselves before our time is up, if when we get there we feel the same as we did from the start? Material wealth will never quench a thirsty heart. We spend so much time searching for the meaning of our existence that sometimes we forget to just exist through sheer persistence. Buddhist monks will spend years in deep meditation, and saints will contemplate God and all of his creations. Scientists will try to summarize with an equation. Consumerists will try to buy the ticket to salvation. Well, this is my theory, This is my school of thought. The meaning of life is much easier than once thought. You wanna know what it is? Yeah? Well, my theory is the meaning of life, it is to simply live. And if I am wrong, then Lord please forgive, but it seems so simple, it's obvious, it makes me want to shout out that the meaning of life is this second, this moment, right here, right now.
There's always a difference between a basic layman and a pro. Someone who is poetic by nature. This boy is poetic by nature.
This man.
True, fair enough. He has a boyish face. So I have the same boy, but yes, he's a man. Of course, he's in his 20s. But he looked so much younger even than he does now. The thing that struck me is what I think the reason why this is going viral now is because he had his illness that kind of stopped his progression as an artist. Okay, and there's a similar story on YouTube. It's a stock trading guy. He has a twin brother, so he started having brain issues.
Okay,
and it was similar to Ren, where the problem with Lyme disease is you get fever, you get all the similar stuff to normal colds and other things that you never realize it's Lyme disease because you're trying to treat. It just looks like other things.
Okay.
Unless you got the little bullseye rash, you never even know you got bit by a tick.
Gotcha.
Right? And so it's very commonly incorrectly diagnosed, right? And then of course it's the lack of diagnosis that causes the problem, because if you don't treat it, then it escalates till eventually, like you mentioned, you could even start having brain issues.
Right.
So
which it did with him. It got to that stage.
Right. So he was getting misdiagnosed with mental issues, I believe bipolar, some other things, just basically that. So now he's basically being told he's crazy, even though he has an underlying condition that's causing it that is not being treated.
Right.
So now you do feel like you are crazy, of course.
Right.
Same thing happened to this man where it turned out he had encephalitis. But he literally could not get a doctor to diagnose him. He had to diagnose himself. And even after he diagnosed himself, the doctors wouldn't treat him and the insurance wouldn't cover it. Even though once he had to pay out of his own pocket to get the treatment, he started to get better.
Interesting.
It's very disturbing, but it can run you mad, especially when it affects the brain. So here he goes from that to now getting better. It changes him as a person, because now he was, if you know, when I saw his work early, it was very nice, happy music. This was very dark.
He's not
intense.
better. He's not.
He's not better.
He's not better.
No, so sorry. He's going through treatment in Canada at the moment. He's right now, right at this very moment as we're recording this, he's just gone back to England for a couple of weeks break, catch up with family and old friends and all that.
That explains the intensity. He's still fighting.
Right.
Yeah, but again, that video was shot 2 years ago. the one we just watched. He's only just released it.
Gotcha.
He shot a bunch of videos a few years ago, knowing that at first he didn't know how long he had to go, etc. Then some doctors, I believe, in Canada somewhere saw him, offered him treatment. He put up a GoFundMe. Like I said, he wasn't huge on YouTube before, but he was reasonably successful. And again, he from his following with the Big Push as
because he's very talented.
busking band recently in Brighton. They raised the money for him to go to Canada to do treatment. He's been streaming from Twitch after he's been releasing his songs every month for a couple of hours, talking to people, watching people react to his songs. That's also therapeutic for people as well. The treatment is working. He says he's feeling a lot better. But see, it's not just the Lyme disease now either. There's a couple of other issues along with that. So he has a very, very restricted diet. I also do believe that some of his treatment is stem cell type treatment.
You're right. Because I did listen to an interview, and he did say, I heard him say something about stem cell treatment. I think that's relatively recent. But so is it, I'm guessing because it was undiagnosed for so long, the side effects that came with it really just did a toll on his body.
Yes.
Right. It makes sense now because he's still in the moment. And like you were mentioning on his new song, we haven't heard it yet. The song that shall not be named. You said he added like a minute to
That's
it.
the title?
No, it's just,
I'm like, that's a cool title.
The name of the song gives it away.
Okay.
Lorna Shore, when they released that trilogy, right, The Pain Remains.
Yep.
And I did that reaction, and then after I did the reaction, I made the mistake of attempting to talk about that subject, and there is no easy way to do it.
What do you mean?
And I mean, it's okay to say the name. I mean, it's the name of the thing. If we're gonna react to it, she's gonna still know what the name is, right? I mean, so the name of the song is Suicide. So again, the friend committed, off the bridge. Okay. When you mentioned that he had an idea and he had to go back and add something to the end of the song, I was thinking about it's so hard to talk about that subject and to get it right. It makes,
that's a very
I'm not surprised he went back because he had an idea and fuck, this, it's incomplete. Oof. And I'm very curious now to know what he did. I want to see how he tackled it. Because even though I try to tackle it...
Am I going to hear the song Suicide today?
I don't know. Well, we weren't planning on it.
Okay, well, why do you say that? Why are you talking like this?
I don't know, do you want to? I mean, it all depends on time. Now, he has a hard out. He does have to be done 9 o'clock our time. So he does, we don't have forever. But,
we don't.
But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. So now I'm very curious to see how, because he is so perceptive is not the word I'm looking for. He's so, and help me if you know what I'm talking about.
No, but you're right. Perceptive.
Perception is
perceptive and
perception
empathetic.
is part of it, but his ability, it's the difference between a English scholar and a kid in elementary school speaking the same language, right? There's a level to his wordsmithing, and there's a level to the way he's able to convey the poetry.
It's perception and understanding.
Right, but because he's making poetry that rhymes.
Okay,
but
so
these
spoken word, baby, spoken word.
But these words are not. He's not trying to make them rhyme. They're just somehow rhyming.
Yeah, and there's a thing to that. I forget. Yeah, as you say, there's a word for that. I can't remember what it is.
He's
that's a skill.
Pretty masterful at that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, songs they don't have to rhyme. How much of what we just watched rhymed?
You see, I had the perception that it did, though. That's a whole different skill now. Yes. To be able to go through the song,
some would have rhymed, but there was plenty that didn't.
But I hear so many people do that where they're not rhyming, and it's so noticeable that it bothers me. I would have sworn if you told me every single word rhymed in this song, I would say yes, it did. I did nothing stuck out of me, and that's also a way of writing where even if you're not rhyming the words, they don't stick out.
No.
And sometimes Eminem does do that perfectly, like in Lose Yourself, and then other times he tries to force things that and I could tell he's bending and forcing. I didn't get that from Ren. No. I don't get that from NF either. That's one of the things I like about NF. It seemed it just has that beautiful flow where they're able to tell the story, but you don't really feel like they're trying to fit it so that it makes sense. It just they write the flow and the lyrics in a way that sounds like a song, but it gives you the complete story.
Yeah.
There's so many things in the lyrics that I picked up on that, with my little knowledge of him, he put so many Easter eggs of what I know of him up until this point. I'm sure there's others that I don't know about him. Yeah. But it's funny how I literally spent only about 5 or 10 minutes on him, right? I read the Wikipedia. I heard a couple of his old songs in that poetry. I listened to some of the interview. And even with that little bit of time within this song, I caught at least 5 or 6 things relevant to all of that, which, it's just showing you how much of he's putting himself in this song. And then him talking back and forth with himself, it just makes it feel more real. I understand why people are connecting to this, because the realness of this, you can just go back and look at everything he's done and see that everything here rings honest and true.
He's speaking from lived experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
He even has a reference to Jimi Hendrix in there that I missed.
Jimi Hendrix line that you missed, a lot of other people did pick up on, because the line is, "You're not going to be the next Jimi Hendrix." One of the top comments under the video, under this actual video, I don't know if it's still one of the top comments, is, "You don't need to be the next Jimi Hendrix. You're the first Ren."
Oh, that's right. That's so beautiful, and that's so true.
And that would have been a good line in his song had he said that. But also the way I take that is because I know that he learned playing guitar off of people like Jimi Hendrix. I'm thinking that that's him thinking when he was a kid. Because usually when you're a kid, you want to play like your idols and the people you look up to. So in his mind, at some point, I'm sure he thought about being the next Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, I think that was mostly his other part of himself, not necessarily people, but him telling himself that other side of himself.
Well, yes, but self-doubt often comes from our surroundings getting into our subconscious.
I know that.
And
I'm just saying,
I
think that stemmed mostly from him, his own words to himself.
Yes.
Because we beat ourselves down. Listen, I beat myself down all the time, so I know what that feels like to to think positively, and then the next minute tell myself that I can't do it, I'm not good enough. So I think it's mostly that.
Well, as he says right at the end there, it's an eternal dance.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the ending. Oh my goodness!
And you've got to learn how to roll with the bad rather than fight too hard against the bad.
Yeah, absolutely,
to accept it.
Absolutely.
And look, even then, people will go to darker places, but hopefully, like as the song says, the light shines after the darkness.
Wow, absolutely, it does. Just a beautiful reminder to end the song with. That line alone made me feel lifted. I can imagine people that are on the verge of or feeling suicidal, or like they don't have anything left to live for, or there's no way out of their dark space. That is enough to just make you feel so elevated. This is a beautiful song. Like, it really, really is.
Everything on his negative side, like you said, yes, it comes from him talking to himself, but everything here, if you read these lines, these are all comments you would see on YouTube as well. These are all people inherently wanting to bring someone down, and it's up to you. And I think the moral of the song is, it is really up to you on whether or not you let these things in, or if you go past it. And again, the song clearly shows it's not easy to do, right?
And the part, I'm going back to that other part, I think it was towards the end when he stood up. That to me resonated with me, because I feel that's just a reminder to me that it's okay to have bad days and good days. It's okay. This is a part of my life, my journey. And accept that, embrace that even, and continue to move forward.
I believe that's basically what he's saying there is, to start with, he was fighting against it. It was hard. It got harder. Then he grew up, learned to accept it, roll with it, deal with it a little bit better through therapy, etc.
That's so profound, chaotic. It really is. It really, really is, because there are a lot of days I feel really good, like I've improved when it comes to communication, when it comes to the way I perceive things, the way I respond to things, the way I'm feeling about myself, about the people around me. And then there are days I feel like I've taken 10 steps backwards, and I beat myself up about it. And I'm like, damn, have I improved at all? Like, am I really back in this space again? Really? So hearing him say that, it gives me hope. Like I'm gonna hold to that for the rest of my life. You know, I've never heard anyone say it, at least not like that. And it didn't resonate with me in such a profound way. Like, okay, it's okay. It's okay to go.
And I believe that, again, that's one of the reasons that it's blown up as big as it has over the time is because in some way, some point in there, it resonates with so many people on so many levels. Like if you go through the comments on video or any of the other ones as well, or his reaction videos, it's a mix of people from young, old, ex-addicts, people with PST.
You name it.
PTSD.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does this is like transcendent.
Yeah, very relatable.
That's what you call it, transcendent?
I honestly believe that he's a once-in-a-lifetime artist.
Oh my goodness.
And this particular performance is one of the most important pieces of performance art produced in the last 50 years.
I believe that and I received that. I mean, and when you said it was a performance, yes, indeed, that was a performance. And it's not poetry, okay? It's poetry, but it's mostly referenced today as spoken word. Oh my God, it's just the way that he puts the words together. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. He has a gift of understanding.
You say gifted. Yes, there's a bit of gift there. I counter the point that he works hard.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, a gift that isn't refined is wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can be a gifted athlete, but if you sit on the couch all day, you're not going to be very good. Yeah. All right. So with that.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction podcast. And if you did, please give us a thumbs up. Comment below. Do not leave without subscribing, but also do share our content as well.
Click the bell to get notified, and as always,
keep it meta. Meta forever, baby. Love you guys. Mwah. Love you, chaotic. Okay. Bye. On to the next one, actually. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do it.